Imagine stumbling upon a weapon so powerful it could change the course of history with a single use. This isn't fiction, it's real history. Today, we're exploring the shadowy world of ancient Doomsday weapons. These are artifacts of incredible power and ingenuity that have been lost to time until now. From Greek fire that could burn on water to Archimedes' legendary heat ray, we'll uncover the secrets of ancient technologies that could have been used for mass destruction. Stick around to the end to learn about these stories of human ingenuity, creativity, and sometimes our love for destruction. So, join us as we explore the mysteries of ancient Doomsday weapons you never knew existed, and discover how they could have changed the world as we know it. Let's kick things off with a bang, or rather, a blaze. The Byzantine Empire, at the height of its power, harbored a secret weapon so dangerous that it became the stuff of legends. This was Greek fire, a fiery creation that could cling to anything it touched and continue burning, even on water. The exact ingredients of Greek fire remain a mystery to this day, with historians suggesting it could have contained a mix of substances like naphtha, quicklime, and sulfur. Imagine the sheer terror of enemy sailors as they watched flames dance across the sea's surface, an unstoppable force of nature at the command of Byzantine warriors. Greek fire was more than a weapon. It was a psychological tool, a symbol of the empire's might and technological superiority. But let's not stop there. Travel further back in time to the sunny shores of Syracuse. A genius named Archimedes was said to have created a weapon capable of setting enemy ships ablaze from a distance. The Archimedes heat ray, as it came to be known, allegedly used a series of mirrors or polished shields to focus the sun's rays onto approaching ships, setting them on fire. While some modern experiments have shared their doubt about the possibility of such a device, the idea that ancient minds were exploring the principles of concentrated solar energy is an example of their advanced understanding of physics and engineering. But these examples are just the tip of the iceberg. Next up, we have a marvel of ancient military engineering, one that might seem ripped from the pages of a science fiction novel: the Huolongjing, or Fire Dragon Manual. This ancient Chinese military treatise, created by Zhao Yu and Liu Ji during the Ming Dynasty, is a comprehensive guide on the use of gunpowder in warfare. It detailed the construction and operation of weapons that could unleash devastation on a massive scale. Among its pages lies the description of a weapon so creative it could be considered an ancestor to the modern flamethrower. The device, known as the Flying Fire Lance, propelled a deadly mixture of gunpowder and shrapnel through a bamboo tube. It created a fiery jet that could destroy enemy ranks. The Fire Dragon Manual showed the technological powers of ancient Chinese engineers and their strategic knowledge, revealing a deep understanding of the psychological impact of such terrifying weapons on the battlefield. Traveling westward, we find the Roman Empire's own version of Doomsday devices in their siege engines, particularly the awe-inspiring ballista. This ancient artillery piece was capable of hurling large stones or incendiary devices over great distances. It was the terror of fortified cities. The Romans, with their unmatched engineering skills, refined the ballista to such a degree that it could be considered one of the most precise and powerful weapons of its time. The sight of a ballista bolt soaring through the air, followed by the thunderous crash of its impact, was enough to shake the confidence of any defender. Sure, these engines could create physical damage, but what was more important was the harmful effect they had on people's minds. They caused a demoralizing realization that the walls people thought were impenetrable could be breached. Of course, there are also some lesser-known but equally fascinating technologies that sprung from the need to defend or conquer. The Middle Ages brought us the trebuchet, a siege engine that transformed warfare with its ability to hurl massive projectiles over great distances. But one variant stands out for its sheer nerve: the war wolf. It was constructed by King Edward I of England during the siege of Stirling Castle in Scotland. The war wolf was a colossal trebuchet, so large and powerful that it could reportedly launch stones weighing over 300 pounds. The construction of this monster was such an imposing sight that the defenders of Stirling Castle offered to surrender before it was even completed. But in a display of power and perhaps cruelty, Edward decided to test his new weapon, reducing a portion of the castle walls to rubble. The Warwolf was a psychological weapon that sowed fear into the hearts of those who stood against it. Now, moving from the medieval battlefields to the ancient Indian subcontinent, the concept of doomsday weapons took on a more mythological, yet intriguing turn. The Mahabharata is an epic narrative of ancient Indian history. It speaks of weapons with divine origins that were capable of catastrophic destruction. Among these, the Brahmastra stands out. This was a weapon said to be created by the creator god, Brahma. It was apparently able to destroy entire armies and fortresses, similar to the modern concept of a nuclear bomb. While the existence of such a weapon is firmly rooted in myth, the detailed descriptions of its effects and the conditions under which it could be used show a serious understanding of the ethical considerations surrounding mass destruction. Even in ancient times, there was an awareness of the moral responsibilities that come with wielding immense power. There's also another ancient and deadly weapon we haven't talked about yet. Sure, it wasn't as visually spectacular as the Warwolf or as mythically terrifying as the Brahmastra. However, it was revolutionary in its simplicity and effectiveness. Enter the Claw of Archimedes, also known as the Iron Hand. This innovative device was another brainchild of Archimedes, designed to protect the city of Syracuse against naval assault. According to historical accounts, the claw was a massive crane equipped with a grappling hook that could be lowered onto attacking ships. Once hooked, the mechanism would lift the ship partially out of the water, then drop it, causing it to capsize or suffer severe damage. The Claw of Archimedes serves as a brilliant example of using physics and mechanics to create a defensive weapon that turned the tide of battles without the need for traditional armaments. It's an example of the ancient world's knack for innovation, turning simple principles of engineering into formidable tools of war. However, it wasn't simply weapons of destruction that could spell the end of days for civilization. While the concept might seem modern, ancient civilizations were no strangers to the art of using biological weapons. These doomsday weapons relied more on knowledge and strategy than on brute force. The Scythians, a group of ancient nomadic warriors, were notorious for dipping their arrows in a concoction of snake venom, blood, and feces. This would ensure that even a scratch could prove fatal. Equally intriguing is the account of the siege of Plataea during the Peloponnesian War. During this fight, the Spartans were said to have attempted to poison the city's water supply with a toxic substance. Though the attempt was ultimately unsuccessful, it shows the lengths to which ancient civilizations would go to secure victory, blurring the lines between combatants and non-combatants in the process. This strategy of targeting the essential resources of the enemy, a predecessor to modern siege tactics, demonstrates the ancient world's early grasp of psychological warfare and the importance of morale in sustaining a fighting force. Some ancient civilizations used doomsday weapons in the form of diseased corpses. Yes, that's right. They were willing to harness nature's deadliest forces for the sake of victory. Historical accounts suggest that during the siege of Kaffa in the 14th century, the attacking Mongol forces catapulted the bodies of plague victims over the city walls, intending to spread the disease among the defenders. This incident shows the concept of a doomsday weapon by attempting to create a widespread calamity within the enemy's ranks. As we wrap up our journey through the ancient Doomsday weapons that have intrigued and horrified humanity, we're left to question the ingenuity and resourcefulness of our ancestors. Their ability to transform the elements of their world into formidable weapons of war speaks volumes about the human capacity for innovation. But it's also a sad reminder of our apparent innate love for conflict and destruction. The quest for security and dominance has always driven humanity to the brink of ethical and moral boundaries. The balance between innovation for protection and the potential for destruction is a tightrope that civilizations have walked for millennia. As we continue to advance technologically, the lessons from the ancient world remain ever relevant, urging us to wield our power wisely and to consider the consequences of our intentions on future generations. The future is ours to shape, armed with the knowledge of the past and the boundless potential of human creativity and compassion. Let's ensure that the Doomsday weapons of history remain fascinating chapters of our collective story, not forewarnings of our fate.